You think you're tired? You think life is unfair? Good. Because that's exactly where this starts. Not with comfort, not with ease, but with struggle. You see, most people wait for life to be kind before they start trying. But life doesn't hand out comfort before the test. It throws the storm at you and then watches how you respond. And that is where resilience is born. Not in the sunshine, but in the chaos. Every single person you admire, every single success story you've heard, they've all been dragged through the mud. They didn't get a magic door to walk through. They built themselves brick by painful brick. And what's wild is you already know that deep down, you know nobody just wakes up confident or strong or fearless. That stuff is earned. And it's earned when things feel impossible. You're probably thinking, I don't feel strong. I feel like everything's falling apart. And I'm telling you, that's the sign. That uncomfortable space, that stretch, that pain. That's your signal that you're growing. Resilience doesn't show up when things are easy. It shows up when you've got nothing left, but you stand up anyway. It shows up when no one claps for you. No recognition, no support, just you, dragging yourself forward. Most people quit because they think feeling broken means they're not meant for more. That's a lie. Feeling broken just means you're being reshaped. And yeah, it hurts. Of course it does. You're being stretched into the next version of you, and you don't grow in silence and peace. You grow in the chaos. You grow in the mess. You grow when everything inside you screams to give up, and something quiet inside whispers, try one more time. That whisper, that's you. That's the fighter in you, even if you don't recognize it yet. And that whisper gets louder every time you ignore the urge to quit. So yeah, don't wait for life to be easy. It won't. But you can get tougher. You can get stronger. You can get unbreakable. One moment, one choice, one comeback at a time. This is where it starts. Right here. When everything sucks and you decide not to quit anyway. You know what nobody tells you? Life doesn't care how good your intentions are. It doesn't care that you planned everything out, that you tried to do the right thing. Life will still hit you in the face, hard and not even flinch. One day you're full of energy and optimism, and the next, you're staring at your ceiling wondering what the hell happened to you. That's real. And if you've ever felt like you're breaking, like you're barely holding it together, then guess what? You're not broken. You're human. There's this lie we buy into, this belief that successful people somehow dodge the pain, that they skip the heartbreak, the betrayal, the failure, the days when nothing makes sense. But here's the truth. Those people just didn't stop. They faced the same storms you're in right now. The difference? They didn't let it define them. They let it forge them. I know what it feels like when life pulls the rug out from under you. When you get hit so hard, you lose your breath. The job falls apart. The relationship ends. The phone call that changes everything. And in that moment, something inside you goes quiet. Like the spark you used to have is just gone. That's the pain of breaking. And if you've felt that, I want you to know you're not weak. You're not failing. You are standing on the edge of becoming something stronger. You see, we think resilience is about pushing through without feeling. We think it's about pretending everything's fine. It's not. It's about showing up even when your heart is shattered. It's about waking up, dragging yourself to your feet, and saying, I don't have the energy, but I'm going to try anyway. It's about being in the middle of your mess and still deciding, this is not the end of me. You can be falling apart and still be building yourself up. That's not a contradiction. That's growth. Because pain is a process. It's life tearing away who you were so it can introduce you to who you're meant to be. And I know when you're in it, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like drowning. It feels like being punched in the chest every morning. But that's because change never feels like clarity in the moment. It feels like chaos. You know what's really wild? Sometimes the best thing that ever happens to you comes disguised as the worst. Losing that job, maybe it gave you time to realize what you really want. That breakup, maybe it forced you to stop settling and find your worth. That failure, maybe it pointed you to something you never even knew was possible. But you won't see it while it's breaking you. You only see it later if you keep going. This is where most people give up. Right here, in the pain, in the quiet, in the numbness. But if you can just hold on just a little longer, you'll start to see the cracks letting light in. You'll realize the pain didn't come to destroy you. It came to wake you up, to show you that you are tougher than you thought, stronger than you believed, and more capable than you ever imagined. So if life has knocked you down, stay there for a second. Breathe. Cry if you have to, but don't unpack and live there. You don't belong in the pit. You belong on the rise. And every time you stand up, even shaking and scared, you're proving that nothing, not even this, can break you completely. Not forever. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about rising every single time you do. Resilience isn't about pretending nothing hurts. It's not about putting on a fake smile and pushing through like a robot. It's not about acting like you've got it all figured out. Real resilience, unbreakable resilience, is about one thing: how you respond when life punches you in the gut. When you get blindsided, when your plans fall apart, that's where it lives. In your response, in your bounce back. You've probably heard the phrase, get back up. Sounds simple, right? But when you're down, when you're tired, when the voices in your head are screaming that it's over, getting back up feels like the hardest thing in the world. And I get it. That's the moment where most people stop, not because they're weak, but because they don't understand what resilience really means. It's not about never falling. It's about choosing to rise again differently, stronger, smarter, a little bruised, maybe, but wiser, and more dangerous than ever. Resilience is the quiet voice that whispers, "You're not done yet," even when everything inside you is telling you to quit. Let me be real with you. Resilience doesn't show up with confetti. It's not sexy. It's not loud. It's built in the mess. It's built on the days you show up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. When you do the workout even though you're drained. When you send the resume even though your confidence is shot. When you speak kindly to yourself, even when all you want to do is give up. That's resilience. Those small, private, invisible acts, they add up. They stack strength, brick by brick, decision by decision. And here's the thing. Resilience is a skill, not a personality trait. You build it. You don't just wake up with it one day. You develop it every time you do the hard thing. Every time you face the uncomfortable. Every time you lean into fear instead of running from it. You want to become unbreakable? Start by doing one thing. Stop waiting to feel ready. You don't need to feel confident. You don't need to feel fearless. You need to act anyway. That's how it works. Action first. Emotion later. That's the switch. The moment you stop waiting and start choosing to stand, choosing to try, choosing to keep going, that's when resilience gets built. Because let me tell you, nobody builds resilience in comfort. You build it in the pain, in the silence, in the discipline, in the decision to keep going, when nobody is clapping for you, when nobody sees the effort, when it's just you, alone with your doubt. That's where it happens. That's where you become someone unshakable. And don't you dare believe that resilience means you never cry or feel afraid. No, it means you cry and still move forward. You feel afraid and still take the next step. You fall apart and still show up again. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about grit. You want a better life. You want to win. Then get this burned into your mind. Resilience isn't a one-time decision, it's a habit, it's a lifestyle. You build it every single day, with every single choice. Show up, fall, rise, repeat. And one day, you'll look back and realize, you didn't just survive, you became someone unstoppable. That's the power of real resilience. Let me break this down for you. Resilience isn't magic. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build. You build it through how you think, how you respond, and how you choose to show up when everything around you is a mess. And if you want to build resilience that lasts, resilience that nothing and no one can break, then you need to know these three things. These three secrets that most people miss. The first one, control what you can, release what you can't. Look, there's a lot in life that's completely outside your control. Other people, their opinions, the outcome of that job interview, the weather, the past. And if you spend your time trying to control the uncontrollable, you will drain your energy, your peace, and your power. So what do you do instead? You shift your focus to what you can control, your attitude, your effort, your decisions, your response. That's where your power is. You can't stop the storm, but you can decide how you walk through it. That's what resilient people do. They don't waste time fighting things they can't change. They double down on what they can. Second, use pain as fuel. Most people run from pain. They avoid it, numb it, deny it. But resilient people, they use it. They ask, what can this teach me? They turn their setbacks into setups, their breakdowns into breakthroughs. It's not about loving the pain, it's about learning from it. And when you do that, you take your power back. You stop being a victim of your story and start becoming the author of your next chapter. You realize the pain didn't come to break you, it came to build you stronger, sharper, wiser. And third, stay grounded in your purpose. When everything's falling apart, when you feel lost or tired or unsure, the thing that keeps you going is your why. Not motivation, that fades. Not hype, that's temporary. Your purpose is the anchor. It's what reminds you, this matters. When you know why you're doing something, you'll push through stuff that would break other people. You'll show up differently. You'll keep moving, even when it hurts, even when it's slow, even when no one's watching. Because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it for something bigger than comfort. So listen, if you want to build resilience that doesn't crack under pressure, start here. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. Turn your pain into power. And stay rooted in your purpose. Do that every single day. And I promise, life will still try to knock you down. But you won't just get back up. You'll rise higher, stronger, unbreakable. You know what nobody talks about. The grind behind the scenes. The quiet. The isolation. The moments where it's just you, your thoughts and a decision. Give up, or keep going. That's where resilience is really built. Not when people are cheering. Not when you're getting praise or recognition. It's built when nobody sees you. When no one's clapping. When everything feels dark, and you still choose to show up anyway. We love to romanticize resilience. We post quotes, share stories, talk about bouncing back. But let me tell you, building resilience, it's gritty, it's messy, it's lonely. It looks like you crying in your car and still walking into work. It looks like staying up late to chase a goal even though you're exhausted. It looks like failing, doubting yourself, and waking up the next day to try again. Without applause, without proof, without anyone telling you good job. That's the truth. Nobody's going to see the nights you kept going when you wanted to quit. They won't see the self-doubt, the anxiety, the conversations you had with yourself, just to make it through the day. But that is the work. That is the transformation. That is the place where the strongest, most grounded, most unstoppable version of you is being built, in the dark. Because let's be real, anyone can show up when things are easy. Anyone can post about success when they're winning. But it takes real strength to keep going when you're invisible. When it feels like you're screaming into the void and no one hears you. when your effort isn't producing results yet, when you feel unseen, unheard, and still move forward. That's power. That's resilience. The truth is, the dark doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're in it. You're doing the work. You're in the part of the story where the pressure is shaping you into something more. And I know it's hard. I know you want to skip this part, but you can't. No one can. This is where every strong person is made, not in the spotlight, not on the stage, but in the dark, quiet, lonely places where you fight the urge to quit and choose to keep going. So if you're in that place right now, if it feels like no one gets it, like you're stuck, like nothing's moving, keep going, please. You are building something no one can take from you. Strength that doesn't rely on praise, confidence that doesn't crumble with failure, purpose that isn't shaken by hard days. And that kind of resilience, it doesn't break, it doesn't give, it shines after the dark. Let's get one thing straight. The hardest battle you'll ever fight isn't with the world. It's not with the people who doubt you. It's not with your circumstances. It's with you. It's the war inside your own mind. That voice that whispers, you're not good enough. That feeling that tells you to stay safe, play small, quit now, before you fail. That's the real enemy. And if you want to build unbreakable resilience, you've got to learn how to fight that voice and win. Because here's the truth. The fight isn't out there. It's in the moment when you want to hit snooze instead of showing up. It's in the decision to scroll for hours instead of working on your goals. It's in the excuse that tells you you'll do it tomorrow, even though tomorrow turns into next week, then next month, and suddenly you're stuck in the same place, wondering where the time went. That's the battle. Every single day, you versus you. And listen, the version of you that wants to grow, that wants more, that wants to rise, that voice is quiet. It doesn't scream, it whispers. And you've got to train yourself to listen to that whisper over the noise of fear, doubt, laziness, and comfort. Because let's be real, comfort is a trap. It feels good now, but it costs you later. And resilience, it doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in challenge. It grows when you feel like quitting, but you choose to keep moving forward. That inner battle, it's not a one-time thing. It's every morning, every decision, every moment you want to break the promise you made to yourself. And let me tell you, those tiny moments matter. Every time you win that small battle,
You go in, you win that small battle.
you're building mental muscle. You're creating a version of yourself that can't be shaken by failure, rejection, or fear. You know why some people never grow? Because they lose the inner battle before they even begin. They talk themselves out of trying, out of starting, out of believing they're capable. But that's not going to be you. Not anymore. Because now you know the truth. You have a choice. You're in control. And every time you choose discipline over comfort, courage over fear, effort over excuse, you win. So yeah, this journey, it's hard. No one's denying that. But you're stronger than you think. And that strength, it's not going to come from the outside. It's already inside you. You just have to choose it over and over again. And with every choice, you're becoming someone no storm can shake. This is your fight. You versus you. And it's one worth winning. Let me leave you with something real. Resilience isn't just a mindset. It's a commitment, a decision, a daily choice. And if you've made it this far in this video, it means something inside you is ready to rise. Ready to stop folding when life gets heavy. Ready to stop making excuses and start showing up. And not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. So I want to ask you something right now. What's the one thing in your life that's testing your resilience? Is it a relationship, a failure, a goal you're scared to chase? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments. Don't just watch this and scroll away. Say it out loud. Write it down.
Claim it.
Because when you face it, you take its power away. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Not just because it helps the channel, but because this is your space now. A space where we tell the truth, where we grow,
where we don't sugarcoat life, but we learn how to handle it together.
You're not alone in this.
You're not weak. You're in the middle of building something unshakable. And every comment, every like, every share,
It's not just engagement.
it's you saying, I'm still in the fight. And I promise that fight, it's worth it. So comment your challenge, subscribe if you're serious about becoming unstoppable. And remember, your resilience isn't built by what happens to you. It's built by what you choose to do next.